You're born in Gotham, which is already your first mistake. Some babies are born into love, some into wealth, you, delivered straight into ambient dread. Every street looks like someone designed it while going through a breakup. Every building looks like it recently hosted a crime, or is actively hosting one. And every citizen develops permanent fight or flight, even when they're just buying cereal. Your first breath of air, pollution with a hint of despair. Your first sound, sirens harmonizing with a car alarm. Your first thought, this city doesn't like me. And you're right, Gotham doesn't like anyone. Gotham is a social experiment in how much chaos the human mind can absorb before it develops a personality disorder. Welcome home. Childhood, Gotham Edition. In a normal city, your childhood would be about cartoons, juice boxes, and learning shapes. In Gotham, your first lullaby is police sirens. Your first toy is a shell casing you found in the park. Your first life lesson. If a clown asks you questions, run. Kids in normal cities learn numbers and letters. Kids in Gotham learn gang logos. Which alleys are nope alleys. How to tell if that fog is weather. Or the scarecrow again. How to duck behind a parked car faster than your parents. Your bedtime stories aren't fairy tales. They're sentences like,
if you see a green question mark, go back inside. Yeah.
And instead of stranger danger, you get a full villain identification handbook. If they're laughing too much, Joker. If they're not laughing at all, Batman. Either way, go home. Your art projects? Drawing Batman's symbol because it makes you feel safe. Drawing it on notebooks, on backpacks, on the wall next to your bed, like it's a magic ward against chaos. Your first crush? Probably Catwoman stealing your mom's purse. You're 6, she flips, lands in a perfect crouch, winks at you, and your brain goes, okay, crime is confusing. Show and tell is unhinged.
My dad brought this rock from the Grand Canyon.
My aunt brought this keychain from Paris.
My uncle brought this bullet he dug out of the sidewalk after Bane dropped a tank on our block.
This is early trauma imprinting, when your brain gets trained for chaos before you finish kindergarten. Your nervous system learns that normal means distant explosions, occasional hostage situations, and the faint hope that a guy in a cape is nearby. So your baseline becomes survival mode. You don't wonder if something bad will happen. You wonder which villain it'll be this week. Congratulations. You're now mini Gothamite, half child, half cortisol. Your inner child doesn't play house. It plays evacuate the building. School is just a hostage scenario waiting to happen. Your teachers try, they really do. They laminate feelings charts, hang inspirational posters, and pretend this is a normal district. But half the time, class ends early because someone is taking over the city again. You don't take pop quizzes, you take evacuation drills. And not the normal kind. You have villain-specific procedures.
Okay, class, what do we do if the Riddler locks the doors? What if Ivy turns the courtyard into a murder jungle? What if Two-Face takes over the principal's office again?
Your curriculum includes math, reading, chemistry, how to hide under a desk when Scarecrow releases gas, and which excuse notes count when the Joker hijacks your bus. Parent-teacher conferences are wild.
Your son's doing great in algebra, but he keeps ducking every time the lights flicker.
Yeah, that's generational.
You know how normal kids fake sick to skip school? In Gotham, you don't fake anything. You just wait. Someone will blow something up eventually. A lockdown isn't a rare event. It's a weather pattern. You start subconsciously mapping escape routes from every classroom, 2 doors, 1 window, 1 fire escape, 1 vent big enough for a raccoon or a very desperate child. You clock every loud noise, every shadow at the window, every announcement that starts with, students and staff, please remain calm. Spoiler, you never remain calm. This is hypervigilance conditioning, when your nervous system becomes a guard dog that's always awake, always panting, always waiting for the next chaotic sound cue. Your brain wires itself around one core assumption. If it's quiet, something bad is about to happen. So you sit in class, trying to focus on fractions while your survival instincts run in the background like a buggy operating system.
Did I hear laughing in the hallway? Was that thunder or an explosion? Why is the sky suddenly green?
Gotham doesn't raise children. It manufactures trauma survivors in school uniforms. By the time you graduate, you don't just have a diploma. You have a minor in crisis management and a major in duck first, ask questions later. The commute from hell. Other cities have traffic, Gotham has chaos congestion. Your morning commute has a 30% chance of a mugging, a 20% chance of a gang turf war, a 10% chance Batman will throw a criminal into your bus window, and a 100% chance your train is delayed due to villain activity on the tracks. Public transit in Gotham is basically a roulette wheel where all the slots say, danger. You stand on the subway platform hearing announcements like,
Attention passengers. Due to explosive devices planted by a themed villain, all northbound trains are delayed.
and everyone just nods. Because this is Tuesday. Chronic instability forces your brain into a long-term state of stress. You don't even flinch anymore when something explodes. You just adjust your AirPods and keep walking. This is called adaptation through despair, when your brain stops expecting safety and starts treating non-stop chaos as the new normal. Your nervous system isn't actually calm. It's just too exhausted to sound the alarm every time Gotham acts like Gotham. Property damage is a lifestyle. In Gotham, you don't own things. You rent them from fate. Car insurance here doesn't cover being used as a projectile, frozen solid by a villain with zero chill, hit by a batarang, flattened by a tank-sized clown car. Your apartment insurance doesn't cover explosion from Riddle-themed bomb number 7, accidental villain territory takeover. Batman crashed into your ceiling again. Life insurance doesn't even cover Gotham. The moment you list your zip code, they decline politely. You're financially traumatized before age 25. You're emotionally bankrupt before 30. Your credit score is held hostage by Penguin. This is conditioned hopelessness, the sense that nothing is stable, not even your furniture. Batman is not actually helpful. Listen, we all love Batman, icon, legend, trauma in a cape. But from a civilian perspective, Batman solves problems like a man who is allergic to therapy and compensates using violence and grappling guns. He doesn't arrest criminals. He yeets them through your skylight. He doesn't prevent property damage. He redistributes it into your building. He doesn't ask questions. He just stares at you until you remember the answer. You can't even complain, because he's the hero, he's statutory chaos, he has smoke bombs, and he may be legally classified as natural disaster. Living in Gotham means being saved constantly while experiencing new stressors in the process. That's called parasocial moral injury, when the people who protect you traumatize you by accident. Villains treat you like background NPCs. Every villain wants money, power, Gotham's attention, a fancy monologue. None of them want you. You are not their target. You are scenery. To villains, civilians are. Collateral background props, moving obstacles, screaming ambiance. You've personally survived freeze blasts, poison fog, mind control pollen, high-speed chases, a rogue robot shaped like a question mark, and a man in green spandex telling riddles at you aggressively. And after all that, no one even knows your name. This is depersonalization, being treated like a statistic in someone else's narrative. Your brain starts to quietly disconnect just to cope. You stop thinking, I almost died today, and start thinking, Gotham things, I guess? You're not the protagonist, you're background damage. Over time, you feel less like a person and more like a respawnable NPC, whose only job is to panic on cue, while other people get character development. The police are trying, I guess. The GCPD is basically a stressed dream wearing badges. They show up late, miss all the clues, arrest the Joker every week for him to escape by lunch, lose half their squad to corruption, hope Batman does their job for them. It's like living in a city where the police are interns and all the villains are senior managers running the company into the ground. The crime rate is a group project and everyone's getting an F. You call 911 and get,
Please hold. Your emergency is important to us. But so is the Penguin's latest money laundering scheme.
half the city treats the bat signal like the real emergency number. The other half has given up entirely and just installs extra locks and hopes they're not narratively relevant. Your trust in institutions? Non-existent. You start assuming every official is either bribed, blackmailed, brainwashed, or about to be blown up. This is institutional burnout, when the system collapses and your psyche collapses with it. Psychologically, your brain learns, authority can't protect me. So instead of feeling safe, you feel alone. You become your own security guard, therapist, and risk analyst, because the people paid to do that are too busy filling out paperwork about the latest clown-led hostage situation. Your job is never safe, literally. Forget layoffs, forget downsizing. In Gotham, you lose your job because the office blew up. Your boss got kidnapped. Penguin bought your company and replaced everyone with mobsters. Mad Hatter Tech turned your building evil. Harley Quinn drove a truck through the lobby. Batman needed a rooftop vantage point and used your conference room window as a grappling anchor. LinkedIn can't save you. Glassdoor reviews are just pros, survived, cons, Joker attack during lunch. Your entire career is controlled by the whims of themed supervillains. Your promotion path isn't junior, senior. It's alive, concussed, unemployed. HR can't even finish an employee handbook because every time they do, the building gets hit with fear gas. No wonder Gotham has high burnout. Your resume is mostly survived incident, continued working. Psych-wise, this is job insecurity on nightmare mode, a mix of chronic stress, anticipatory anxiety, and occupational PTSD. Your brain stops asking.
Do I like this job?
And starts asking.
Will this job kill me before payday?
Stability becomes a myth, so you cling to whatever routine you can, even if that routine includes filling out a post-villain attack damage form every other Thursday. Dating in Gotham is a disaster. Dating pool options, criminals, ex-criminals, criminals pretending to be normal, people emotionally damaged by Gotham, Batman, unavailable, Catwoman, emotionally unavailable and prone to theft, Poison Ivy, plants first, you second. Every date comes with a safety plan, knowledge of escape routes, a pact not to panic if the lights flicker suspiciously. Even romantic dinners get interrupted by villains. You can be mid-bite like,
"So anyway, my childhood was pretty."
Boom.
Okay, never mind, let's hide under the table.
This is attachment anxiety. When your love life is built around crisis management, you're not wondering, do they like me? You're wondering, will they text back before Poison Ivy turns downtown into a jungle again? Your nervous system never learns calm, only patterns like date, chaos, repair, repeat. So you start confusing intensity with intimacy. If there isn't a break-in, a blackout, or a Batmobile chase between dates, it feels wrong. Psych-wise, your brain wires love to danger cues. Late replies feel like abandonment. Rescheduled dates feel like betrayal. And any moment of silence feels like the Joker is monologuing somewhere about your emotional weaknesses. You're not just looking for a partner. You're subconsciously looking for someone who can help you survive the next crisis. Fear becomes your personality. Living in Gotham means your entire nervous system stays on edge like an over-caffeinated squirrel. You jump at loud noises, quiet noises, no noises. Anything green, trauma, courtesy of Poison Ivy. Anything clown-related, self-explanatory. Anything question-shaped, anything wearing a cape. Even therapy sessions get interrupted by villains. Your therapist is like,
"Tell me about your childhood."
boom.
"We'll schedule that breakthrough for next week."
This is long-term hypervigilance. Your mind stuck in permanent fight or flight mode. Your brain is basically a car alarm with legs. Always on, always loud, rarely actually wrong. You don't just hear a noise. You mentally map exits, identify cover, and calculate which villain it probably is. Over time, you stop asking, "Am I safe?" and start asking, "How bad is it this time?" Your body forgets what relaxed feels like. Calm moments just feel like the part in the horror movie right before the jump scare. The economy is just pain with taxes. Gotham's economic model is a crime in itself. Mobsters own everything. Corrupt billionaires own whatever's left. The middle class is theoretical. Rent is highway robbery. Protection money is actual robbery. Infrastructure gets blown up monthly. You make $18 an hour, but replacing your window costs $600 daily. Your financial identity is broke but traumatized. This is scarcity mindset, when survival becomes your entire financial plan. You're not budgeting for vacations or goals. You're budgeting for, can I replace my windows again after Bane uses my street as a wrestling ring? The weather sucks too. It rains constantly. Even when it's sunny, it feels like rain is lurking nearby in a trench coat. Seasonal depression isn't seasonal. It's all-year DLC. Lightning always strikes the most symbolic building. Thunder sounds like dramatic foreshadowing, and fog rolls in like it's auditioning for a villain monologue. Even the weather has performance anxiety. The moral philosophy of suffering. Living in Gotham forces you to ask the big questions.
Why doesn't Batman just kill the Joker? Why do supervillains love monologuing more than winning?
Why does the city keep rebuilding all the places that blow up every month? Why does everyone keep living here?
And the worst one?
Am I a bad person for wanting the Bat to just not take prisoners this one time?
You're standing in line for overpriced coffee, staring at yet another rebuilt after incident sign, realizing your entire worldview is being held together with caution tape and caffeine. This is moral injury, emotional damage caused when obvious solutions are ignored for plot reasons and ethical reasons. Your brain knows what would actually reduce harm, maybe stop recycling the same homicidal clown. But the world you live in keeps choosing symbolism over safety. That gap between what should happen and what keeps happening is where your sanity goes to limbo. Over time, you stop believing in justice and start believing in maintenance. Not good versus evil, just less bad versus catastrophic. You're not a civilian anymore. You're a philosopher who cries during the commute, side-eyeing the skyline and whispering,
"Is this deep or just stupid?"
You can't leave. People always ask,
Why don't you just leave Gotham?
"Oh, sweetheart, because rent in Metropolis is higher. Moving trucks get hijacked. Your job doesn't transfer. Your grandma refuses to leave. Your bank account laughs at you. The train out of Gotham keeps getting derailed or held hostage. Your landlord wants 3 months deposit, a credit check, and proof you haven't been mind-controlled this year. Also, leaving Gotham means admitting it defeated you, and that hurts more than the villain attacks. You've memorized every shortcut, every safe alley, which corners usually don't explode. You've emotionally invested in this disaster. You've survived here. Walking away feels like throwing all that suffering in the trash. This is sunk cost fallacy, staying because you've suffered too much to walk away. Your brain mistakes endurance for progress.
I've already survived 5 citywide attacks, 3 hostage situations, and 2 gas incidents. I can't quit now.
Psychologically, you're trauma bonded to your own zip code. Gotham is bad for you, but it's your bad, so you stay. You call it resilience. Deep down, you know it's just stubbornness in a trench coat. When hope is the real supervillain. Every time things improve, a new villain emerges, a new crisis begins, a new billionaire makes a speech. Batman broods dramatically over the skyline, and your life resets to misery. And yet, you hope. Because in Gotham, hope is the only thing no one has stolen yet. This is the resilience paradox. Trauma makes you tougher, but also exhausted. The real reason it sucks. Because in Gotham, you're not a hero. You're not a villain. You're not a billionaire. You're not even a side character. You're just a person trying to buy groceries in a city where crime, chaos, and psychological breakdown are part of the weekly weather report. You survive anyway. And honestly, that might be the most Gotham thing of all. Which Gotham civilian nightmare hits you hardest? The commute chaos, the villain explosions, or the therapy you can't afford but clearly need? Drop your favorite unhinged Gotham observation in the comments. Smash that like button if your brain feels 30% more paranoid, but 70% more self-aware about why you'd never move there. And hit subscribe if you're into ideas that stick, figures that sketch. Ready for your next system update? Tap here and keep playing smart.